Hello guys and welcome back to the Traitors New Zealand, and today we are going to be episode 4ing this thing. I don't know where those words have come from, but apparently that's what we're going with. So we are going to be taking a look at episode 4 today, and I am very excited because we had a very interesting twist at the end of last episode. They have decided to recruit Brooke, I think his name is. And actually, that was the person that I said they should recruit. So really, this is my plan. I'm very glad that they went with my plan. But either way, I think it's going to be super exciting. It's going to be super interesting to see whether he says yes or not. Because if he does, it's over for these faithfuls. They won't even know what's hit them. So, without much further ado, let's get into the episode, shall we?
You now have the choice of whether to become a traitor or remain a faithful.
I always think that when you get this choice, you'd be silly not to become a traitor at the end of the day. Because essentially, if you don't become a traitor, then you're just ending up on the chopping block. You prove yourself as innocent, and then the traitors are just going to get rid of you anyway. That was a sick camera shot. That was such a cool camera shot. Oh, yes. He's actually doing it. I'm on board. This episode has gotten so good. This show has gotten so good. Wow. New Zealand are really knocking it out of the park so far. Like, I thought Australia season 1 did a good job, but New Zealand's season 1, it's been pretty good so far, apart from the missions. The missions are a little bit lackluster. But everything else, mwah, bellissimo. This is brilliant because he had absolutely no clue it was Matt, which is so great. It's so amazing. I'm excited for this trio of traitors to really triumph over the other people in the castle. That was the most stressful sentence of my life. I didn't know where the truth was coming from.
I knew it. I knew it.
This guy, he called him out in the last episode and was like, I think it might be him, you know. I think it might be him. And I was like, okay, we need to get him either on board or we need to cut him off. Do you know what I mean? And I'm very glad they brought him on board.
I beat myself up about it all night.
Initially, I did. And then I thought to myself, Mike did no favours.
Colin said, do you know what? I was beating myself up and then I went, nah, fuck the guy. He was shit. That is not very fair. I feel like he was fine. I feel like he was very obviously not a traitor. My opinions on this game are very much clouded by the fact I know who the traitors are and I know who aren't the traitors.
And ironically, I thought this morning when I was shaving my ears,
Huh?
that you are the only one I trust.
Because I often shave my ears and think, oh, yes, I can trust this person as well. I feel like that's a common thing that most men do. I don't think I've ever actually shaved my ears. That's weird. Like, are your ears, like, hairy?
Colin, I can't read him. Is he all bluff or not?
Not Colin having to carrot the corner so that Billy and Anna, are those their names? I promise you, I'm trying to remember them, but I told you, I'll get them by the finale. I found it so funny how Colin was like in the corner whilst they were trying to hug over him.
Make sure you've got
7 people.
8, 9,
8,
10.
9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
That means no one's been.
That means no one's been murdered.
That means that there's.
These fucking faithfuls are too smart for their own good, because what do you mean that they've already worked out that there's not going to be someone being murdered? I actually think we need to nerf them. Can we kill off 2 tomorrow night? Because Jesus Christ, they're too smart. This woman, I can't remember her name, but she's my fave, and I can't believe how smart she is. She's so tuned into everything and it's great.
We think someone's been to good. There's 14 cheers. There's 14 cheers.
Oh my God.
This is the big issue, is the fact that, like, I'm toxic enough to think that I'm a great enough actor to be able to do this. I don't think I'm good. I think if I walked into the room having been freshly seduced and someone walks up to me and goes, I think there's been a seduction, I'd be like, huh? No, really? No. What?
Don't forget to look at that side of the table when someone comes in, because I can't see them.
Yeah, okay, good point. Yeah.
I am throwing a few kind of, ideas out there.
This motherfucker is so good. He's like, don't forget to look at them, just in case someone's not surprised to see someone walking in. Mr. Dan Wow. Wow, wow, wee wow. You're doing a fantastic job of being a traitor, my friend. You're being an excellent faithful, but you're also being a fantastic traitor. So good job with that.
Of course, Matt's here.
Yeah, hey guys.
I love that everyone's like, oh, Matt's here. Woo! We won. Little do they know that he's the one doing that.
I have a gut feeling about Matt. I just think he is being a master.
No, Brody. No, but also you're so correct. So like, I can't hate you for that. You're so correct. This is why you're going straight to the top of the rankings if you keep this up. Oh my goodness. How fantastic is this? Brilliant. I'm loving this. Big whoop-de-doo.
There must have been a seduction. Someone has become a traitor. That is exciting.
Colin is a fan first and a player second. He's like, ooh, this is exciting. But actually, this means that our job has just gotten a whole lot harder.
Anyone was seduced and turned it down? Because you would be able to say? No?
Yes.
Huh?
Yes, you're right?
Yeah.
You're stressing me out. What do you mean you were saying yes to that? Although, actually, is that a particularly good play, potentially? But then does it not look suspicious when I don't get murdered the day after? Oh, it's a tough one. It's difficult to know what plays would work with what group of faithfuls, because some might suss it out immediately. But then if we were playing with Australia too, they're not going to know at all.
We're heading down the rabbit hole. Curiouser. And curiouser.
Alice in Wonderland themed. I'm intrigued. I'm sat. I'm waiting. This is before it just turns into another one of the missions that they had in the first series that's really boring. But yay, let's go to the mission, shall we?
That are in my gut. I'm not unless something so drastic happens today.
Yeah.
Julia and Matt.
I really don't understand where this Julia, like, hate train has come from. Not hate train, but suspicion train has come from. Because 2 people voted for her in the last round table. So I don't know why Brody's all of a sudden being like, yo, I think it might be Julia. Matt, fair enough. Like, I can understand why she'd go for Matt. Because he is being a little bit too aloof about everything. But other than that, I don't know. I just think these are 2 very random picks. But, like, obviously she's right with one of them. But Julia, that's the rogue one to me. I don't understand what the rationale behind that is.
That's just how I feel right now. That's how sure I am. And it's going to take me a lot
To go somewhere else.
Matt, you're in trouble, bestie. You're in trouble. You got to start actually playing the game a little bit more sensibly. Because I feel like everyone's taking your sort of like, goofy approach to the game and being like, that must be an act, surely.
If you feel so strongly
I
about
feel
Matt.
so strong.
But this is a really good point. You'd be playing your card really early if we don't have the numbers.
I know.
Oh, Brooke, you mastermind. Pointing out that you can play your card, but if you play it too early, you become a threat too early. And I think what he's trying to do is slow this down, make sure that she doesn't mention anything necessarily at the round table, and then cut her tonight. Which actually would be the smart play if I'm being 100% honest. So, you know what? I'm on board with this. I know I said I really liked Brody, but like, you can't help but back the traitors, do you know what I mean? Do you know, I just want them to survive a little bit longer.
Because you're about to do a bit of ghost busting.
Huh? What are you gonna call? Not these fuckers.
And secure one of my precious shields.
Ooh, we're entering shield territory, which means the game's about to get a little bit more toxic. That's what I'm talking about.
And a ghastly lamp. Time is of the essence, and it won't be easy.
I really appreciate the fact that they went through all the differences before the challenge, because it means that we can now watch out for them. That was something that the US version didn't do very well, because I didn't know what the changes were until Alan mentioned it at the end, and I was like, okay, cool. But like, I'm grateful that they told us what they should be looking out for.
We put Julia in charge of the mission because she's a police person.
Honestly, smart thinking. That's a very smart plan. Put the police officer in charge of the crime scene. I mean, it just makes sense.
She didn't really look at anything herself.
Okay, but what we're not going to do is pretend that that is going to expose her as being a traitor. Because remember, the traitors are trying to earn money as well. She might just be a little bit incompetent. I feel like that's probably the most likely excuse for all of this.
What about this?
I got nothing on my mind.
No, it's the same.
Time's up.
Honestly, they showed me what the differences were, and the only ones that I could remember were the toothbrush and the butterfly changing. I actually couldn't remember any of... Oh, and the lampshade. There were like 3 or 4 more, though, that I just didn't remember. So I knew what the differences were, and I couldn't even remember what had changed.
Candle in the bath was burning, and then it was out. And it was a different type of bubbles.
Listening to them being like, oh, the candle went out. Yeah, do you know what? It probably did. And that's unfair that it went out and it was lit. Do you know what I mean? It's unfair, but that wasn't one of the changes.
Your team only correctly identified 2 items, but you spotted them both, and you are legally blind.
Well done. So I thought he was actually like 100% blind, but legally blind just means that you've lost a certain percentage of your vision. So that makes a lot more sense as to why he can still see some things. Okay, that was the answer that I needed. Because I was sitting there questioning going, how the fuck is he meant to spot the differences? But he could obviously see at least something.
Congratulations, Brooke, Dan, Robbie, and Phil.
Now, the super interesting thing here is that there's 2 traitors on that team. So one of the traitors could very much easily walk away with some kind of protection from murder. And they don't even need to use it. And Philly and Robbie, wow, they could easily pin it on Robbie in this banishment. And if she wins the thingy, then it's fine. It's gone. They can kill whoever they want. This is brilliant.
We don't tell each other, okay?
Hey, guys.
If you have it, you have it. Just...
Love how everyone's got the exact same strategy. Don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone. There are 2 fucking traitors on this team. If they end up with the thing, then they're just gonna chop, chop, chop. Oh. Oh. No. Yay. I am Robbie's #1 fan. I love her. She's iconic. She's incredible. I don't know. She just gives me great vibes. There's always one person in each series that just like gives me absolute life. And I feel like she's the person in this series. She's not afraid to take the piss out of herself. And she's just a lowly hairdresser. As she says herself, I'm just a hairdresser. I'm just a hairdresser. But she's iconic TV. And that's what I like about her.
Are you just nervous, or are you doing your metabolic thing?
Doing my thing I was telling you about.
But you were doing it with just one leg before. I'm confused. Or are you just doing a nervous tick?
What we're not going to pretend is like that is any kind of indictment that he is a traitor. Because I sit here doing that when I'm recording. That's why sometimes you might see the camera shaking. Because my leg just starts going and I don't notice that it's like it's bouncing. But it just does it sometimes. I don't know why.
Building money is really important. That's a mission where she should be able to compete for us, right?
Totally.
I just have a real problem with people using performance in challenges as a reason to banish somebody. I feel like that's just an absolutely ridiculous thing. I mean, you guys won the challenge anyway, and like, I guess they could have won more money, but like, I just don't think it's that deep. I don't think it proves that she's a traitor. It might prove that she's a little bit of a liability in the game, but like, aren't you wanting to get the traitors out rather than getting liabilities out of the game? Do you know what I mean? And she's been pretty good in the other challenges, no?
Get this. She said, she kept coming up to me and she goes, remember, we formed the pact. And I'm like, when?
What'd you say?
And I've never formed a pact. You formed a pact.
I hate all this he said, she said business, because if it's not been said on camera, don't mention it, don't bring it up. Like, I want to see when she said this. Because what do you mean she's come up to you and been like, don't forget we formed the pact?
Matt, I want to ask you genuinely why for 2 nights in a row you have been completely against the grain and stayed with the same person.
It's a fair and valid question, but I feel like it's not exactly fair to ask why have you gone against the grain when yesterday in the last episode, hasn't Colin done the exact same thing? I don't remember Colin voting for Mark. I could be wrong. This line of questioning would only work if it was 2 traitors that had been banished. But it's been 1 traitor, 1 faithful. And he's voted for the same person consistently. It's not like he's been chopping and changing. He's stuck to his guns. I don't know. It's just not, it's not exactly the way I thought she was going to approach this.
I went into the first night knowing exactly who I was going to vote for, and I struggle a little bit with your carelessness of feeling.
I kind of disagree with Brody. I feel like I didn't have a lot go. Like, I feel like there wasn't enough evidence. Was there enough evidence on Lauren besides just like, oh, I think you'd make a really good traitor, so it might be you, and you're just a little bit quiet. I don't feel like that's enough of a, like, concrete evidence to, like, securely walk into the room and go, oh, I'm going to vote this person out. I just feel like that was a very lucky vote, and everyone jumped on that bandwagon, and they got lucky, and now they're acting like, oh, we're amazing, we're so smart. I'm like, not really. I think you guys just got incredibly lucky, and now you've got some kind of complex thinking that you're amazing.
Freaking stressing me out. I was so freaking busy. Got a lot of work on, so if I've been coming across as a bumbling moron, since I've been here and I've been hanging out with you people, I've grown to love it. And so about yesterday, I was like, I love this game now.
Oh, what a shit explanation. Oh, Matt. To be like, oh, I had a lot going on, like, coming into this game, and therefore I just wasn't, like, 100% here, but, like, yesterday I worked out that I'm actually really enjoying myself, and therefore, like, oh, I'm here, I'm excited, this is gonna be fun. Oh, bro. Oh, bro. Oh, it's not looking good, Brev, it's not looking good.
You said there was a traitor in our team.
No.
Here we go. Chinese whispers happening at their finest. I knew that there was something dodgy with what Philly was saying. I knew that. I was like, what? Why have we not seen this on camera? If it was done during a challenge, surely there'd be some camera footage, right?
I'm really getting quite agitated about stuff being thrown at me.
Robbie, there's a lot of people mishearing things you're saying, which is kind of weird because I really trust that guy.
What is going on here? Has Robbie said something and forgotten she said it, or not realised that her words have been misinterpreted? Or is Philly just making this entire thing up? Which is weird and wild, and I don't know why he would do that. But is he so sort of like in his head about her being a traitor that he's now sort of like fabricating conversations? I'm confused. Like I said, I feel like if this had happened and it had happened during the challenge like he said it did, there would be some kind of footage, right?
At this juncture too, I think, Julia, you should maybe defend yourself.
We've switched to Julia. This is how crazy things can change on the round table. I feel like Robbie's done a good job of being like, what? No. Julia. It's Julia. Even though it's not Julia. But like, oh, bless Robbie. They're all just gumming at her for no reason. Oh, it's so sad. Because if they do vote her out, and she is a faithful, they're all going to look like absolute fucking melons.
You guys are going to look really, really fooled and the egg on your face when I stand up there and say, good evening, I'm a faithful.
What a brilliant defense. You're going to look stupid when I get up there. Everybody says that. Even the traitors. What's the point, Julia? Give us some concrete evidence. Who are you suspicious of? No.
Sorry,
No.
guys.
Already?
It's time to vote.
Oh my god.
I'm really sorry, Matt.
I voted for Robbie.
I'm sorry, Julia. I've had nothing else to go on all day.
Very interesting first three votes, because this shows that the room is incredibly split, and any one of them could go home at this point.
Julia, I've also voted for you.
I don't have to say sorry because you voted for me.
Written Matt's name. Matt has.
You were either brilliant or, once again, we're silly.
Oh my god. This is the most stressed I've ever been. Because, like, we know if Matt doesn't leave today, he's leaving next episode. He just is. And now I've got to do my B-reel. Jesus Christ. Poor Matt. He's been playing it so well. We're only on episode 4.
Matt, you're a genius.
Oh.
I voted for you, so that's just me.
I voted for Matt.
It's
that
Robbie. Oh, segue.
Julia.
Philly.
Huh? Huh? Oh. Guys, these people are too good at this game. Who found these people? Send them back to where they came from. We need the dumb faithfuls back. 3 banishments and 2 of them have been traitors. Guys, I don't think the traitors are winning this series. I don't think they are. I really, really don't think they are. Because what do you mean it's now just Brooke and Dan?
I was a traitor! See you in hell!
Brody's too dangerous. She needs to be cut tonight. That's twice now. That's twice that she's completely... No, that's 3 times. Every single round table, she has completely flipped everybody's thinking away from Robbie, away from Vanda, and onto Matt. Wow. Wow. Even if she goes in the next episode, she's right at the top for me. Right at the top. Incredible gameplay. That was low-key very impressive from Brooke. That I noticed that, Brooke. Well done.
It's a really good lesson for you, dude. You know what he didn't do? He wasn't actively trying to seek out traitors. And this is your biggest fault, right? Listen, you're next on the block unless you start actually offering. That's what these people want. They want people that are offering solutions.
I think Dan's doing a good job of making sure that he's actively looking for people. But I think Brooke's also right in the sense of, like, he needs to start actively throwing names out there so that they're actually like, oh, okay, he's actually offering something to the table. Okay, cool.
She runs the roost. Like, literally, if she says one of our names tomorrow morning, we're done. We're just done. It's unstoppable.
Yeah, that's the issue, is now Brody has targeted herself, or, like, made herself such a big target for the traitors. She's got to go. Her time is up. That is it. Finito. On the back foot. Get out of here kind of thing. So actually, I think she's played a very good game in finding out who the traitors are, but not a good enough game to take her further into the game. It's a real tough one at the end of the day.
So do we want to go predictable, Brody's murdered, or do we want to go chaos, Colin's murdered?
I mean, if it's between Brody and Colin, axe Colin at the end of the day. Create some chaos, because everyone's expecting Brody to be killed. But if Colin gets killed, that will throw a bomb into the group and will genuinely rattle everybody. I think that's personally the one you want to go for. This episode, we're 4 episodes in, 2 traitors have already gone. We've got 2 traitors left. Guys, what's actually happening with this show? I feel like this is the most crazy and chaotic I've ever seen a Traitors. I'm really liking the majority of the cast. There are still some that, like, I'm not really seeing much from. Like, I'm not seeing much from Kings. I don't really see much from Anna. I don't really see much really from Sam, apart from, like, whenever he just adds, like, a little quip in sometimes. Same with Justine, I think is her name. Yeah, there's just a lot of people that are kind of fading into the background a little bit. There's probably some that I've completely forgotten are there. But I gotta say, I'm really, really vibing with this series. I think it's very entertaining. I think it's very exciting. And I hope you guys are excited for the next episode, which will be coming out next Friday. So, without much further ado, make sure to like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next episode. But until then, keep on ranting, and I'll see you guys later. Bye now!